In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and setting up the all-new SliderONE Pro from Edelkrone. And Edelkrone sent me this unit as a test unit, so a big thank you to them. And I will be doing a full review of this unit, including test shots and how it performs overall. So if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to stay tuned for that full review. So let's go ahead, get it out of the box and set it up. Let's first slice open the plastic packaging and then peel it off. And let's see what's inside the box. And the first thing I see on top is the user manual and a bit of documentation. And next you have a storage caddy with 2 Allen wrenches to adjust the SliderONE Pro. And last but not least, we have the unit itself. And at first glance, it's actually a pretty solidly built device. As you can see here, it's machined out of aluminum and it seems pretty professionally built. Now the SliderONE Pro is powered by these LPE6 Canon batteries. These are pretty standard Canon batteries, but you won't get a set with the device itself. You'll need to buy these separately. And if you're looking to buy a set, I'll leave a link right below the video, so feel free to check that out. And there's a slot for the batteries right on the bottom. And to install the battery, all you're going to do is slot it in to that slot on the back. And once the battery is in the slot with the arrow pointing inwards, you're going to push it in. Now, before you push it in, one thing to remember is that this does not have an on-off button. So pushing the battery in is actually the way in which it's powered on. So as soon as you push the battery in, you might actually see the slider move a little bit. And there will be a bit of noise from the slider. So I'm going to actually push it in and you'll actually hear a few beeps. That'll tell you that the slider is now active. On the bottom of the SliderONE Pro, you have a 3/8 inch female thread, which allows you to mount it to a tripod or any other mounting device that has a 3/8 inch male thread. You can always also place it on a flat surface. You don't always have to mount it on a tripod or a mounting device. You can actually use it on a table if you choose to. And it has these rubber feet on the bottom that allow you to do that. For today's setup, I'm just going to place it on a table. Now, when it comes to mounting a camera, they recommend using Edelkrone's Flex Tilt Head 2, which I reviewed in a separate video, so feel free to check out that review if you'd like. So you can screw on the Flex Tilt Head and then mount a camera to it. So you can either use this head or a regular video fluid head. And then you can attach your camera to the Flex Tilt Head or your fluid head. And that's all there is for the mechanical setup. Now what you're going to have to do next is get the SliderONE Pro app, either from the App Store or the Play Store, depending on what kind of phone you have. I'm going to go ahead and download that app. And then let's open the app up. And it now says searching for device. So as you can see, it's trying to connect to your Edelkrone SliderONE Pro. And on the next screen, it says that a firmware update is required. I'm just going to hit start to start updating the firmware. And that should take a few minutes to complete. Now, if your firmware has been updated before it's shipped, you may not see this message, but it's highly likely you will see this message when you start it up the first time. Now, while that update completes, I just want to mention that the SliderONE Pro has no controls of its own. All the controls are through your phone's app. There isn't even an indicator light on the device itself, so that's kind of interesting. There isn't an on-off button or an indicator light or any controls of any kind. So pretty much all the controls are through this app. Another thing to note is that when you're using the slider through the app, or even when the software is updating, make sure your phone is close to the slider itself. It connects to the slider through Bluetooth, so you don't want to have it too far. You want to have it just a couple of inches away. Leave your phone nearby while that software updates, and especially when you're using the device. That took about 5 minutes to complete, and it's asking us to remove the battery, then put it back in and restart the app. I'm going to hit OK and close the app out. I've reinserted the battery and I heard that chirp from the slider, which means that it's powered on. And now I'm going to open the app back up. And as I open the app, it says it's searching for device. It seems to have found the device and connected to it. On the top left-hand corner, it gives me the battery status indicator for the slider, which is really handy. So I know how much battery charge I have left. So now it's time to try our first test slide. And to do this, all I'm going to do is press the slide button and then let it do that test slide. So it's going from point A to point B. Now the points A and B are marked on the slider itself. So that's very important to note. So that gives you an orientation of which way it's going. And now let's get it to go back from B to A. I'm going to hit that and have it go from B to A. And there you go. We've done our first slide. Now there's quite a few features to explore here and I'll be doing a deep dive into it in my full review. And I'll be showing you exactly how all the features and settings and speeds work in that full review, so stay tuned for that. But in terms of setup, if you have a unit and you've been following along with this video, you should be ready to go. Also, if you're looking to buy one of these, I'll leave a link right below the video, so feel free to check that out as well. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to stay tuned for that full review. If you found this review useful, please give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching and see you next time.